Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Thursday, March the 25th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Trading rules are there for a reason with Walmal. And this disclaimer is there for a reason, because these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Walmal, you said this morning when we were trading, and I said, hey, that sounds like a great topic for a video. So why don't you tell the boys and girls and non-binary traders out there why you said that?
Well, the reason why I said that is because I have a rule in my trading plan, and one of the rules I have in my trading plan is that for the first hour, I sit down and I watch the charts and I paper trade. I don't trade until that happens. And the reason why I do that is I just know myself. I get, for whatever reason, when I first get up in the morning, I can go and drink coffee, I can take a shower, I can get ready, brush my teeth, get dressed up, do all the things I'm supposed to do, and still sit down. And for that first, 30 minutes or so, sitting at that computer, I'm just not there. I'm not alert. I don't know what it is. I just don't get in sync with the market or whatever it is. And I broke that this morning. In fact, you got on the phone a little bit earlier than you normally do, and you saw me do that. I just, piled on mistake after mistake, and it was like, two mistakes in a row that really cost me. And it wasn't that the market went against me. I took two losses, and the reason why I took those two losses was because I didn't follow my rule, and my rule, of making sure that I paper trade for that first hour or so. And what happened was when I went back and I looked at my trades, it's like, why did I go and enter there? There is zero reason to go and enter there. What was I thinking? And then I went and looked at the next trade. Why did I enter there? There was zero reason. And then at that point I went, so now I had taken two losses, and that's when I went and said to you, rules are there for a reason, and it's silly mistakes. Now, by the end of the hour, I corrected those two errors. I continued to trade. I was now, in sync. I took a break for a few minutes, and I was able to get to myself to a positive position for the hour, which is always that is a rule for me. Is I always want to try to end as much as I can. I mean, market goes against me, I can't do it. But my goal for every hour is to always end the hour, with a positive number. So I was able to do that, and then the following hour I was able to go and make core. But it was just, you silly person. And I could look at those trades and say I broke my rules, and said I broke this rule because I didn't wait for this, or I didn't do that. But the ultimate thing was I didn't go and do the rule that's over all of those, and that is wait until you're ready to trade.
Well, I'm sure the traders out there want to know if you were trading the Walmal method when you broke your rules, because the Walmal rules are so simple.
I don't know what I was trading, to be honest with you. I probably thought I was trading the Walmal method, but I certainly didn't do it. I know for a fact the very first trade that I took was a Walmal trade, but the problem was it was the first break, and it wasn't, sometimes I'll go and take it on the first break if there was a clear, break above the line, and in the last 5 minutes in the previous hour. That didn't happen. It got close to it, but turned around and rejected it. And this time I went, it did break it, I went and took it. And when I took it, it turned around and rejected it again. Yeah, it broke it by a pip or so, maybe even 2 pips. And then at that point, it just ran all the way against me. And I think I jumped out of that trade with a 5 pip or a 7 pip loss. I believe it was 5 pip loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of like, I broke the second rule, but the reason why I broke the second rule is because I broke the first rule.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality. So yes, the Walmart method, it's simple, but I say this all the time, and I know you say it all the time. Just because it's simple doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, ease comes with practice.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's why, I like the fact that you said ease comes with practice, because that is my practice. My practice is to get up and just sit there and go through the charts, see where I am, see what's changed during the Asian session, see what's changed during the London session, so that when I go into the New York session, I like to go and trade the hour before the London session, and just see what's changed, see if there's anything that's out there. Maybe even take a couple of demo trades, see whether I just go and write it down or I actually go and open up a demo account. Just go and get in sync of what's going on. And I busted that wide open and killed myself this morning. And then, like I said, I got it back, but man, it wasn't easy. In fact, I think I said to you that, after I got it back to break even, I think I said something to you, well, that was exhausting.
Yeah, you did.
And the funny thing is, I got into the second hour and, it didn't take me more than maybe, a little bit of time to go, and it took me a while for the trade to actually come about, but I went and took that trade. In fact, I was smart about it. I waited, and waited for the first break and waited for it to retreat off that. Went and took the second break, took that, and made some money off that. Then waited for the next trade, and so I think it took me 2 or 3 trades to go and get to my my core for the day, just because of the way the market was moving. But that's just the way it is. Sometimes you get that.
Yep, that's true.
So there you go. The rules. If the rules didn't have a reason for existing, then why do we have the rule?
Well, I was going to ask you, what do you have to do going forward? What do you have to put in place to make sure you follow that rule?
I think what I have to do is just, for me anyway, the biggest thing for me, I know for you, I'll answer it for you, and then I'll answer it for me. For you, you like to put things up on the screen. You like to go and put, you use your mind notes and things like that and put it up on the screen so it's right in front of your face. And, that doesn't seem to work for me very much. And the thing is, because I get so focused in on certain things that I don't see those notes. And, I get tunnel vision, I guess. And so that doesn't seem to work for me. So for me, what it has to be, it has to just be a habit, and the thing is, with habits, we all go through it. They go and say, I don't remember what the rule is. It's sort of like if you go and, do something, like 3 times or 7 times or something like that in a row, that it's now formed into a habit. Then it takes 21 times to undo the habit. Well, here's the thing. This is the second time this week I've done this. And so now I got to be real cautious about it. So I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'm not going to use your My Notes thing, but I'm going to take a piece of loose leaf and I'm going to put it across the screen, literally scotch tape it to the screen, and for our friends who are overseas, I'm going to go and cellophane it to the screen, and just literally, I got to go and rip that piece of paper off the screen before I can even see price, so just as a reminder, just so I don't go and tear those 2 times in 1 week into 7 times, and then I got a bad habit formed.
Yeah, well,
so I think that's...
Yeah. Well, the thing, about habits, there's been a lot of science and study done on it. And they say, you only have so much willpower and so much discipline. So what you have to do is you have to set up your environment so it supports the behavior you want and restricts or inhibits the behavior you don't want. So in your case, by putting a piece of paper over your screen so you can't even see price, there's your reminder. This is what I have to do before I start trading.
It's a hurdle.
And by the way, you got top of the hour here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so our Walmal lines are at 00 and 10, and one of the things that's very interesting about breaking that 10 line is going to be that we made last hour, we made an attempt at it and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, so we're 2 points away at 9.8 for the previous H1 high and the 10, and it just busted right through it. There you go.
Yep, it busted through it, And so for me, that would not have been a trade. I would have held off on that trade, And the reason why is because we've had so much, problems at that line. And you go look left to left, last hour, there's a pretty tight trading range that occurred there, where it was going up right up to the 10 line and going down to, I think the lowest part was the very first minute in the candle where it went down to 92.2. But for most of the hour, it was contained within a range of like 98.0. So yeah, am I upset about the fact that I missed that trade? No, because the thing is, it's not part of my rules, and it's not my trade, so I didn't miss the trade, and we have to go and remind ourselves of that. Oh, look at all those tables I missed out, and then if you start thinking like that, we wind up having some Romo. I think you actually went into that trade that I went into, and if I recall correctly, you went and said you jumped into it because of Romo.
Well, no, it was FOMO. It's like I said, I think
FOMO.
because price was going up and down. And it went up, I'd already punched out, take profit off the table. And then it was coming back, and I wanted to get back to a certain level, and I think it was within a point or two. And then it shot up, and then it was just like I went and jumped in, which I shouldn't have, but now I'm up again because my entry was at 9.5. So right now I'm sitting up about 6 pips.
Yeah, that's nice. But and I know you run your stops further away than I do. But and so you were able to go and sit through that downturn. I wasn't able to do that because of the way I set up my risk level and my stop levels. I wasn't able to sit through that. I had to go and get out. It would have been where I went in the last time would have been nice. I would have been up, right now it'd be up 4 pips, but I could have been up as much as 6 or 7 pips. That would have been really nice.
Exactly.
But that's trading, and that's part of the whole idea of you got to go and sit there and build your rule set around what you're able to do. For me, because of what I'm risking, I don't want to go. I can't let it go that many pips. I mean, from the entry, you would have had to, I would have had to let it go down as much as what? Looking at right now, 17 pips. I'm not willing to let it go 17 pips against me based on how much I'm risking. So everybody's got their own little, I like to go and say people have their own little sandbox that they get to play in.
Right.
And but the nice thing about trading is, what you're able to do is define the borders of that sandbox. And so for every trader, it's going to be slightly different. For some traders, if I remember, like Dragon, he would always set his stop losses like about 20, 25 pips on a trade like that. But for me, I'm not willing to do that.
Well, he had a certain risk, so he might have had a big stop, but his lot size was adjusted accordingly.
Exactly. His lot size was adjusted accordingly. And also, he wasn't looking to only go and pick up 7 to 10 pips. He was looking to go and pick up 25 to 30 pips. So it made sense because of how he was trading, how he was going and trading. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about this whole idea. You got to build your rule set around the sandbox that you live in.
Yeah, and that's something that's, just really important. So the traders out there, it's, you have your rules. Hopefully you have them written down or you have them, in the TRO, my notes indicator, but you have something that says, this is my trading method. And, one of my rules of thumb is if your entry method can't fit on one side of a 3x5 card, it's way too complicated. It should be basically, like I have that little DSR scalper. It should be ready, set, go. Basically, when a certain thing happens, it's like when the hours open, it's like we're ready. We've got the Walmal line was at 10 for the buy and at 00 for the sell. So, okay, so now we're ready. And so it's like, okay, we're at the line, near the line, get set. We're at the line, go. Take your trade. Your stop losses should be, put in place. And then you just see what the market does.
That's exactly right. And that's the best way to trade because the thing is, if you start, the problem is we can only wrap our minds around a certain number of things at the same time. And if we got 45 things, that we're trying to go and actually try to account for, we can't do that. It's just not possible. We cannot go and do that. Our minds aren't able to go and process that much data simultaneously.
Yeah, and you know what? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is up again. So, boys and girls and non-binary traders out there, Keep in mind your rules. You have to follow them because they're there for a reason, and set up your environment so it supports your rules rather than takes you out of them. So remember, when you sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.